guys how to upload your very own avatar. This is going to be a general guide on how to upload your own avatar. I'm not going to go into too much detail on it, but it's the basics of avatar creation from start to finish. First thing you need to do is install Unity. Unity version is 2018.4.20 F1 at the date of the video being made. It is subject to change. Vrchat does change their Unity project from time to time, so always make sure to check. Usually older SDKs older Unity projects will work with the newer Vrchat, but they are prone to breaking. Same with the SDKs. SDKs were a bit redundant at the time, and they used to work together with each other. Older versions, newer versions used to, but ever since the new UDON update with the Vrchat SDK 2 and the SDK 3, I just recommend getting the newest one anytime it comes out. And okay, what you need to do first of all is new project, template, 3D. This is where it usually saves all your assets and D documents, but obviously you can change all that. Name of it, that's what it's going to come up to. 1 sec, I will just say tutorial. I'll just type it in as tutorial, and once that's created, it should be in your documents about here. Yes, right about here. And it does take a minute to upload, well, to run, because it's Unity, it's slow half the time. And one thing you will find with Unity, it can crash out on you. So I would recommend backing up, keeping backups. No matter how small and quick your avatar is to build, it's always best to have backups. My main avatar folder, where all my avatars and my Unity packages are always backed up. Back it up as much as you can, because it is a pain to set up. As you can see here, it is loading up for the first time. Once it's up, it will be. I will get to the next part once it's up, which is any second. There we go. Other things you will need is I have all the files here, but I will link these in the description. I'm going to use a model I have used. Well, I haven't used before, but this is on the Vrchat mods, VRC mods website. I will link everything down in the description for you guys. Easy as that. Always when starting a new Unity package, I would recommend importing the SDK first. And if you have the dynamic bones, which is essential these days, unless you want your bones to be solid, most avatars will come with it, but I'd always recommend importing it before you import the avatar, because it is prone to breaking. I will import the SDK for you now. It will take a minute, but it pops up here. You just click import. It does take its time. I do not have the best computer, so I do apologize if this is slow, especially when I'm recording at 4K. going to be raw, unedited footage, guys. I do not have a good software to edit videos, so if it's shitty quality, sorry for my language, but it's gonna be that way. You're gonna see how everything is done from start to finish. There might be one cut to Vrchat, which is easy enough to do, but anything more than that I cannot do. Compiling scripts, just about input. If it works, at the top here you should see Vrchat SDK. Click it, show control panel. Once it comes up, it's there. You need to sign in with your Vrchat account. If it doesn't sign in the first time, you might have two-factor authentication on. So just check your email or the two-factor authentication device. Sign in. Should sign in for you then. I would always recommend, it's just a personal preference, is you literally grab this tab here where it says Vrchat SDK, grab it, pull it up next to your hierarchy so you don't have to click and into it every time. You can just bounce back and forward for when you need it. It's for when you're working on avatars a lot. And future-proofing is something I would turn off because it slows down the upload. Unless you want future-proofing enabled, it is good in a way which I've never needed it. It's usually when an update comes along, Vrchat sometimes breaks avatars, and future-proofing kind of fixes it. But honestly, in my opinion, it's no need, because you just need to re-upload it 90% of the time if it breaks it, and it's just quicker to turn future-proofing off. Default, it would be checked like that, and just uncheck it and you don't need to worry about it anymore. And then go back to your dynamic bones, drag it in to the assets box down here, same as you did with the SDK. Should be looking like that, and then click import. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, this is the website. You go onto the website to download the SDK. You might ask yourself, which SDK do you use? If you're mainly doing avatars, I would recommend importing the SDK2, because that's mainly for the avatars. SDK 3 is to do with the new Udon update. You can also use the SDK 2 for worlds, but they don't work well with Udon. They don't work with Udon, full stop actually. SDK 3 is for Udon and Udon worlds, which I've never needed, but Vrchat SDK 2 is something I would recommend. You can also download Unity from the website, but it's easy enough to find the link for Unity. I might as well put it in the description for you guys, the location to download the current one of this video. And there's dynamic bones, everything. And once you have that, I'm just using, like I said, Hero's Full Body, Demon, E-Boy, for an example for Unity, well, for this tutorial video. In the future, I may be using different avatars to show different type of things like animations, shaders. I will show you a few shaders here, but I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'll show you a small bit of animation, but this is a general in-depth guide. I will do a more detailed guide if it's asked for. I'll go into far more detail. Like you see here, this is grayed out. That means it's already in here. Dynamic bones is already in here. There's two parts here that isn't in here. So anything grayed out is already in your Unity package and will not be imported again. So everything here shows you here that it will be imported. If you don't want it to be imported, you just literally click here, but it could break the avatar. Best bet is to import it all and then mess about with it. So you just click import. May take a few minutes depending on the speed of your computer or how big the Unity package is, but usually it's pretty quick. It's taking its time, boys. This is a pretty big Unity package, well, moderately big. My main Avatar folder is like 10 gigabytes, which is months of work. But you can find assets anywhere these days. VLC mods, other discords, even your friends may have assets. You're always free to come to me anyway if you need assets. I'll put my Discord in the description. You're always welcome to message me for assets. I may not have them, but I can get them. I have over 200 gigabytes of assets, so just rabbiting on to get past time. Like, it's just imported now. A few minutes, seconds, it will show up in your assets folder, which is at the bottom. Like that. Okay, prefabs. Okay, that's not where you're meant to go. Usually models are kind of a bit messed up if they're not put right, but this seems decent. Chuck you in here. Just drag and drop that Unity scene into here. And if you ever see this, that means there is a shader that's broken, which looks like second. Okay, body. Yeah, it is Kiru's. I will get my Payumi shader because Payumi's is easy, it's nice, and it's clean. 1 second, I will pull up my shader folder right now. I do apologize, I wasn't expecting this avatar to be broken. So, again, my apologies. I do usually use a different what's it called? SDK, but for simplicity's sake, I'm using the one on the website. So I would already, with my SDK, have it imported with a click of a button, everything. If you can get an SDK like that, it's pretty decent. The Black Arms SDK is one of my favorite. Payumi, there we go, Payumi Tune. I will also link this in the description. It just needs to import and we'll be on our way. May take a minute or two because Payumi is... oh wait. It can be big, depending on what one you use. A thing called trays thing will pop up, but you just need to X out of that. That's something with Payumi, like this. It's nothing serious. Okay, you just literally... it's still walking. My bad. I am sorry if the video is lagging slightly. I do not have the best RAM and CPU, also GPU. When Unity is running, it is hardware intensive depending on what you're doing. Animations, depending, I'll show you actually in a few minutes. But basically, animations can be rather CPU intensive or RAM intensive when it comes down to it. Depending. If it's 1 or 2 keyframes, it's basically not gonna do anything. But when it comes to like a few hundred keyframes, like dancing, trying to mess with that, it is a nightmare unless you have a powerful computer. Boom. Turns out it was Payumi. 90% of the time it is Payumi, because Payumi is, no offense to you all other shader creators, it's one of the best out there. You can see this is all working, and if you click on something, that's not okay. That why is you okay? And music, audio missing clip. Sometimes it does break. Let's see if I can find the audio. Music. Did it list the music? No. Up here is the search bar. Anything in your assets folder and you just search in there, it will work. You can find it. If it's not there, you don't have it. Basic as that. Okay, where the hell? I do apologize. Like I said, yeah, probably not there, but I will just, you can just chuck any music onto this. It's not really bothered, but you can see the way it's like this. That sphere tells you how big the audio is. Like the audio won't go any further than here unless it's broken. Sometimes it can break, sometimes it won't. It all depends on how you set it up. Stuff like this is fine. Dynamic bones, like that, is clicked to leg, which is here. I tend to... oh wait, do I need to log in again? No. Wait, yeah, there, we've seen it now. But basically, how it is, I tend to put all the dynamic bones in this part. You can remove sample scene, that's just to keep a scene now, because you can't not have a scene in your hierarchy. But basically, I tend to keep all my dynamic bones in the same place, but it's, again, a general preference. People have it like this, where it's all over, it's in the dynamic bones. Okay, where is... yeah, I can see it. If you ever make a model, and you have your avatar descriptor, one sec. Your avatar descriptor, you literally, to add your avatar descriptor, you literally click here. If you have your SDK in, you do VRC underscore av, and it will there, you just click that. Normally this will be set to default. Usually 90% of the time you can just click auto detect and it will work. But if you run a mask like I do, which some VSeams don't have. For an example, I think I have the Sub-Zero mask in one of my folders. I will show you this, guys, as well. Thinking about it. Sub-Zero. Enter. I'm just looking through my Unity folders right now. Actually, I can just go through my avatars. I have them somewhere. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. Assets. Prefabs. Where the hell are my prefabs? There we go. Sub-Zero mask. Control D. Duplicates it. No, I just deleted it. Damn it. Okay, copy. Okay, same way. A little tip for you guys: if you press Windows E, it will bring up your Windows Explorer. You go into whatever you named your documents, and you go into your tutorial. You can also just import assets this way. You can just paste the file in. If it's a folder file with the assets already there, and then it will automatically import it, which should be here, which it is. And to add something to, let's just say, the face, spine. Well, actually, I'll minimize this to start from the beginning. Okay, usually you'd have it open like this. You click your armature. Again, I've done it again. Hips, spine, chest, neck, head. Anything you want to connect to your head, like this mask, you just literally drag the prefab and drop it on. Materials are broken because it's meant to be Payumi, as usual. Yumi Tune, advanced, opaque. Okay, click. Yeah, anytime you want to change the shaders, you can do here. Click this, Payumi, Tune, advanced, opaque. I tend to use Payumi a lot because it's one of the best, like I said. Okay, little quick tip. Keybinds. W, when you're in here, like you click this, in your hierarchy, click it, click W, allows you to access moving it around. E rotates, and you can see the values in the top right in your inspector change. R scales it, and to scale it, like proportionally, you do the white block. Grab it and just pull and drag. To do it in the Z, you literally do that. The Y is that, and then the X is that. It all depends, though, on the proportions of your what's it called, the model. Like here, -90. So you type in here. I'm just roughing it out, making it perfect. Scale it down. This has VS seams on it of its own. I will just put this on to show you how to install your mask as well. Little gift for you guys. This mask would have VS seams in it as well. I will show you how to do that. That's on rough. Okay, click here. Again, W, move, E, rotate, or scale. Okay, I'll just chuck it there for now. As an example, let's just say you wanted it there. You go back and click the very top part of your avatar's hierarchy. And again, that is listed as the avatar's VS seams. VS seams are basically, when you talk, your mount moves. sec. I will actually move this and I'll show you. Let's just say you're doing an O action. In blend shapes, you're saying O. You can see the way the mount moves. Or A. And Vrchat would automatically, as you talk, do it for you. But if you wanted something like this, Control Z undoes does actions for you guys. If you just click the Control Z, it will just undo movements, most movements anyway. And you can just literally click it in the very top of your hierarchy, click the click and hold the Sub-Zero mask, and literally drag and drop it onto there. Because the Sub-Zero mask, like some masks, have VSMs of their own. That's why when you see some people talking with masks in Vrchat, it reacts to them talking. It's not actually on the model itself. You don't need to do some stupid blender with it. Sorry, just had a fizzy drink now. Oh, and if you ever want to mess around with blend shapes, well, no, not blend shapes, dynamic bones, and you don't want to, most people upload it to Vrchat and then test it. Some people don't know that you can just press the play mode, and then it will go to here, but you can click scene, click here, and move it about, and dynamic bones will react. Kind of like you can see dynamic bone lines reacting there. And you see these yellow spheres? They're colliders that will react with certain dynamic bones. Seems like there's something broken on this avatar. Is there hair on this? The hair isn't dynamic bones. Okay, my bad. But usually these spheres, you can set them up. I'll actually show you. Let's just say you put... I'll actually use the dynamic bone here. Chain Kuru 1. Okay, that's the head one. Yep, that's the head one. Usually it would have these colliders, which it does. And to show you how to do that, left wrist, you go into your hierarchy, go to left shoulder, left arm, left elbow, left wrist. And usually, oh, they made an empty game object. That's nice. Rigid bodies is more of an advanced thing. I don't really know myself. But that sphere, literally do dynamic bone collider like that. Click it. I'm not going to click it because it's already there. And you can do fiddle around with it. 0.8 will be the size of what the actual dynamic bone you want it to collide with. Like the chain, click it here. One second. Dynamic bones, I click here. And that tells you, if you click here, it will highlight here what it's colliding with. Left call worst. That tells you where the collider is. That's where we just were, this one. And literally 90% of the time, you can literally, let's say this. Okay, I'll remove this. It's easy enough. None. And then you can just literally click and hold, drag, and drop, and if it sees that there's a collider there, a dynamic bone collider, it will add it to the thing. Otherwise it won't work. And that's basically it for that. Click that. It doesn't look like they have a size to it though. Radius 0.05. It's just very small to do with the chain. but you can change it just by doing this. Okay, that is actually really small. I would be comfortable with doing, okay, not that, obviously, 0.8, no, 0.3, and that's more of a realistic style of radius. So then when your hand in VR, if you're using a VR device, like a Vive, HTC, well, HTC and Vive are the same thing, Index, Oculus, doesn't really matter. If you brush your hand against this and it has the collider and you've told it to collide, it will brush up against it and actually knock it about, which is nice. Alright, for animations, custom standing animation. Your override controller will basically, let's just say like this. Emotes will like normal gestures what you do with your fingers cannot override your avatar's legs, head, or arms and body. They can only override your like blend shapes and your fingers, as usually most people would expect. But stuff like emote will override your avatar's movements. So you can do stuff like the signature shuffle if you have that in your emotes. Like here, that's it here. Same, you can also click here in your custom override and it will take you to where that animation is saved. It's another thing to know. And finger point, point mount. Also, usually, like let's just say you click onto this, you want to see how your model will look doing it. You literally drag from your hierarchy into the animator and it will show you how it will look, which is handy. And other stuff like, I will show you how to do a quick gesture real quick, but usually that's all you need to put is custom override controller, literally right click, create, animator, override controller. It looks like that because there's nothing there. Click that little circle where it says none, bracket, animator controller bracket, avatar controller template, and it should come up with this. And then you can literally drag and drop your animations in. But make sure they're not dancing animations if you're putting it on anything bar emote tabs, like emote 1 to 8 are in your little emote section on your Vrchat menu. Victory is a gesture, thumbs up is a gesture, handgun and open hand is a gesture, fist, finger point is another gesture. You get the point. Idle is when your avatar's just like idling, standing normally. You see some avatars standing in a certain way. I think this has an idle animation, a custom one. I could be wrong. Usually it will not show. It's something to do with Unity. It doesn't recognize idle animations really well. But I can show you if it is. If there is. Okay, idle. Yeah, there's none actually. That was my bad. And if you click here, how does this walk back? But yeah, that's the gist. Literally just drag and drop your override controller into here with your animations. You don't have to keep doing that anytime you update it. If you just do anything you change here, then it will automatically get changed here, which is handy. Normally you don't have to touch this controller up here. That's to do with more in-depth animation, which I will do on a separate video. And if you upload your avatar and you think the viewpoint's a bit wrong, and you click it in your hierarchy, you can literally see a sphere. Usually you'd have to find it, but thankfully the avatar creator of this one already set it up. And usually if you need to change it, you can literally mess with these variables and just literally drag and drop. Usually my rule of thumb is, actually I will change it here. I tend to put the viewpoint in between the eyes and in the middle of the nose. So usually takes a bit of finicking. 0.1, 0.2, 1, 0.7, 9. Yeah, I got lucky with that one, but that's basically it for that. And it's ready to upload basically. It's basically ready to upload. So you just click this, builder. Sometimes you will get this issue where it says this avatar bitmap and texture without stream bitmap. You don't need to worry about that. You just click autofix and Unity will automatically fix it, which will take a minute. More textures you have that aren't already bitmapped, the longer it'll take, unfortunately. And he's set. Okay. Now that has no longer been grayed out, means you're able to upload it. Which will, and depending on the size of your avatar again, it will vary from avatar to avatar. This does take a while sometimes. I do apologize again. hate this. This is something you'd have to deal with normally on Vrchat. Well, not Vrchat, Unity. When you're doing it. Unfortunately. Unless you have a pretty beefy computer which can do this so quicker than mine, usually. It's nearly done, I believe. Oh, any second now. It should pop up to the upload screen. Okay. You usually come up to this screen. A sec. I just need to. And usually, okay, that's your avatar name. What do you want to name it? I'll name it Cut for tutorial. I'm not going to jump into one video, but this is just an example. To upload it, you click private if you want a private so only you and you alone can use it. Or if you want to make it public, you click public, obviously. Simple enough. And then you click this checkbox here to upload. But there's another thing. Let's say you wanted to do a custom image. Move this camera, it's usually in front, and you can see here that it's there. You can just pose it whichever way you like. Game. Click upload and boom, there's your uncle. Unless there's nothing wrong, it will let you upload. Go out of it. Now, a small bit more into the, let's just say, texture inside of it. Okay. Usually the best way to find your texture is go into body, go into one of the materials, and where you see the texture, you just literally click that box, and it will take you to the texture folder. And usually, like, let's just say I wanted to edit the hands. That's usually the body texture. That's the face mask, skin. You take stuff like the Jordans. I'll use the Jordans. Them. You literally open it in GIMP and you just mess around with the mesh tech colors. Like, let's just say I wanted them Jordans to be blackened. This is the texture, yeah, that's it. But let's just say you wanted the textures to be black and red. Okay, go open file location, show an explorer, let's bring it up. And if you have any sort of Photoshop editing software, use that, but GIMP is my preferred because I know how to use it. So basically, open with GIMP or your Photoshop program. Takes its time. Boom. Usually I do it quick like this, quick and dirty. Plunk that down, and then I would go through all this pixel by pixel. Actually, if I up the threshold, it could. Oh, yeah, there we go. This is going to be quick and dirty, obviously. But basically, that's what you can do. We'll click, just click, click, click. Yep, that's it. File, override, PNG. Wait till this is done. Okay, image exported. Your Unity will freeze for a second while it imports, like that. But that is normal. It's to do with the texture. One second, let me find the texture. Okay, body. Jordans. There you go. That's with the emission mask, which you can set, let's just say, to red. Boom. That's how it goes. That's how you would do a basic recolor. You can get more advanced into it, obviously. Most people do. Most people would add shaders, rim light shaders, and stuff. You don't even have to use a texture. You can use stuff like this. One sec. I will get this material. Usually some people will just literally chuck shaders on like this. So you drag and drop the material. Ah! Okay, there we go. And you can just see some avatars looking like that. Again, Control Z to undo your actions. And let's just say I wanted to get rid of the hat with chest. I'll just use you know what? Yeah. Let's just say I'm going to use the mask as a placeholder for other items. Let's just say left hand. There we go. Left hand, left wrist. I'm going to put that on left wrist. Okay, I will change the position. You can also change the location up in here. 0, 0, 0, and 0. W, and then you can do fine tuning. Okay. If you want it to be visible all times, you just leave it like that, or you click that off. When doing, I'm going to show you how to do an animation now. But when you're doing animations, I would recommend click in your hierarchy, Control D, boom, boom, and it duplicates it. I'd always recommend duplicate your model when you're working on an asset, with an animation. Okay, create. Let's just say mask on. You click it in your hierarchy of the model you want to animate. Add property. Go to your armature where you have the object like spine, chest, left shoulder. You can be your right shoulder if you're right-handed, if you put the mask on your right hand. And then let's see the Sub-Zero mask. Okay, just click is active. Click the check. And then don't worry about it breaking, that's normal. But go in a frame extra, uncheck, and check again. Otherwise, you'd have an issue where it flashes off and on, which can be annoying. Okay, go to the very end here and delete that keyframe. A single frame like that is all you need for that type of gesture. It simplifies the whole thing. That's just to turn on and off the mask. And that's it. That's for animation. Okay, delete you. Okay, unhide your main avatar. There we go. And mask on animation is right here. Delete. Click you. Your custom override controller. Click. Let's just say I wanted to put it on the fist, for example. Click the circle beside the fist. Search bar. Mask. Like that, and there. Anytime you do your fist in Vrchat, it will pull out the mask. Don't do the fist, it will put away the mask. Simple as that. Alright. I'm signing out for the night. Have a good one. Sorry for the long video, but I went in depth on this one. Stay safe and keep classy.